What's up guys, D-Libs here, welcome back to another tier list for Rainbow Six Siege. If you guys haven't seen my attacker video, go ahead and press that one in the top right corner now. Today we are going to be doing defenders. We basically justify our list based off of the defender's ability, the defender's personal attributes like speed, armor, and then as well as their loadout. We also throw in some other factors like how often they get banned, so how often you're able to play them in the ranked playlist. So without further ado, we are going to go ahead and get started with Alibi. Now Alibi really is not that hard to be able to counter. You honestly get really used to seeing those Alibi prismas around the map and, not shooting at them. So once you get used to that, there's not a whole lot of leverage that Alibi really holds over any attackers. I mean, she has an alright gun. I've never really loved the Storm, but it's alright. We're going to place Alibi in the D tier. Now Aruni, again, she has an alright ability, an alright gadget. It does force the attackers to use some of their utility to be able to destroy it. However, that's about all that they have to do. So they throw in a stun grenade, they throw in an extra drone, and it destroys it temporarily, of course, but enough time to where they can enter very easily. Honestly, it's not a game changer. It was an alright operator when it first came out. I liked the idea. However, her Surya gates really aren't anything too special. She's gone with Alibi in the D tier. Now Azami. Azami is one of my personal favorites, probably my favorite operator that's came out in the past few years. Azami, without a doubt, has to be S tier. She can manipulate any objective, any map, any room as much as she wants within, obviously, the restraints of her Kiba barriers that she has. It completely changes the game. It gives defenders complete advantage when it comes to holding angles, when it comes to a peek, whatever it may be. And on top of that, she has a great gun, and she has impact grenades. Azami is S tier. Now, Bandit, for me personally, is B tier. At this point, Bandit, Cade, operators like that, they just cannot be listed high up in these tiers anymore, considering all of these attackers now have impact EMP grenades, and Thatcher isn't the only one that can get wall now. You have Callie and and Flora, and so it's just there's so many different possibilities now that can counter Bandit and Cade, but for this scenario, really just Bandit. So of course Bandit's a great operator. He's still one of my favorites, one of my most played. I love his MP7, and he has a nitro cell. All around, really great operator. He's going to be in the B tier because of how easy he is to counter. Now Castle. Castle, I've said this so many times before, is one of the most underrated operators in the game and is one of my favorites. No matter what objective you are on, he is a fantastic operator to have. He slows down the attackers. He makes them use up their utility to be able to get through. It gives a whole extra line of defense. All around, Castle is a great operator. He belongs in the A tier. Now Cav, it does not really hurt me too much to put her in the D tier. I mean, she's cool and all, she's fun, you play her in quick match, you play her in the lower ranks. She's just not a viable option at all once you get up into the higher ranks. Her silent step is really not that amazing. I mean, like I said, it's great when you're in casual, but all around, Cav, she belongs in the D tier. Clash, not going to spend too much time on her. Super easy to counter. You run up to her, you melee her, you shoot her feet, whatever it is. Really easy to counter. She's E tier. Now Doc is a great support health operator. However, he's not the best. So I think Doc being put in the A tier is more than fair. He has a great MP5. However, he has been nerfed over the years. So putting Doc in the A tier. Now Echo is good, but he's really not great. I like his MP5 suppressed, but we all know his yokai drones have taken a huge hit over the years. He used to be unstoppable, but now they're pretty easy to get around. He's still good, still average. We're going to put him in the C tier and call it a day. Now Ella is one of my favorite roamers in the game. I absolutely love her Grismots. They are a huge game changer. They're entry denial, and on top of that, you save one, you use it during a gunfight. She's just amazing to have. I like Ella. She's going in the B tier. Frost. Now, not only is she super easy to counter, it seems like everyone just jumps in through a window nowadays and they automatically shoot at their feet. Even if there isn't a Frost on the defender's lineup, it's just first reaction. They're also making her worse. In the next coming season, she's going to be nerfed, and attackers are going to be able to self-revive themselves when they get knocked by a frost trap. She's already seen some nerfs in the past years. Her gun has a super slow fire rate. I'm putting Frost in the same tier as Clash. Goyo, personally, I really like. However, he's also seen some big nerfs over the years. His Vulcans really aren't as good as they were when they first came out, and obviously the TCS-G12 is nowhere near as good as it was when it first came out. He still has the Vector, which keeps him average, so we're going to put him in the C tier next to Echo. Now Jaeger. Oh man, what a fall from grace Jaeger had. His ADSs have taken a huge toll as they have their cooldown speed now, and also his 516C carbine is nowhere near as good as it once was. It used to be probably one of the best guns in the game, and now I really don't want to touch it too often. We're going to put Jaeger in the B tier. Still good, don't get me wrong. However, this dude was without a doubt in the S tier as of a few years ago. Now we have Cade. Cade has a lot of the same reasonings as Bandit for why he's not going to be in that tip-top tier. However, he is definitely the first option for me when it comes to needing a defender to electrify the wall. So when it comes to me choosing between Bandit and Cade, there's a reason why Cade gets banned way more. Now yes, there are a lot of attackers that do have the impact EMP grenades. There's a lot of options that they can use to be able to get the wall. However, Cade is much harder to counter, and so Cade has to be a step above Bandit. We're going to put him in the A tier. Kapkan, again, is one of those operators you really just don't see have a huge impact on the games. Now, of course, if there is someone who runs in without droning and they happen to run into a wall with 2 Kapkans on it and they get blown into a million pieces, yeah, that's a pretty big game changer, but that doesn't really happen. You know, like maybe in quick play, maybe in the lower ranks, which we stated before with, Cav. Kapkan is not a high skill operator. He's not a competitive operator. Don't get me wrong, he is fun. And when attackers are oblivious to his Kapkan traps, of course, his entry denials are insane. And he does have a really, really good gun as well. So we're going to be nice. We're going to put him in the C tier. He definitely could be lower than that. He definitely could be in that Cav tier. However, like I said, it does work sometimes for some reason. We're going to put him in the C tier. Lesion. Now, Lesion was 100% my favorite operator when he first came out. His SMG was incredible, and on top of that, he got buffed and had a 1.5 scope for a while there. However, he's really not as good these days. So, Lesion, you're going to get put in the same tier as Kapkan. Still good, but we're going to be happy with that. Now Maestro, I really like his Alda, the LMG that he has, it's really good. However, his Evil Eyes just really are not it anymore. You're able to shoot and destroy the Evil Eyes as soon as he opens up his turret. It's really not that hard at all. However, when Maestro does have really good Evil Eye placements, I could totally see him being a complete game changer. Maestro belongs in the D tier. Melusi is another one of those operators. When she first came out, would probably be, in the tier above the S tier, to be completely honest. But honestly, over the years, her Banshees have taken a huge toll, and of course, like how I spoke about with Lesion, her SMG is just not as good as it once was. Melusi is going to go in the D tier because of how easy she is to counter. Mira is an absolute classic. Her Vector is amazing. She has a shotgun as her secondary. On top of that, she has a nitro cell, and of course, her black mirrors are game changers. She belongs in the A tier. I don't think anyone's going to complain about that. Now, Mozzie was a game changer when he came out with his pests, being able to take control of an attacker's drone. We've really never seen anything like that before, and you can tell that Ubisoft has really tried to add on to that with, attackers like Brava in the past. So I think Mozzie, he has great Commander 9, great P10 Roni, he has a Nitro Cell, he belongs in the A tier, he absolutely rakes with his P10 Roni, one of my favorites to use, and then you also get all that intel by being able to steal the attacker's drones. Mozzie's going to be a happy A tier. Now Mute. Mute is going to be our second S tier of the day. Mute is just a classic, he's an all-around great defender to have. On top of that, he has a great shotgun, he has an MP5, he has a C4, and then he has the mute jammers, which of course are just huge for denying any intel from the attackers. He's kind of a boring operator when you think about it, but that's what makes him a classic. He was just in the game when it was really simple, and he's still super, super effective, even in an advanced meta like how we have today. Mute is going to be S tier. Oryx really holds no value for a team. Rainbow Six Siege is a team strategy game, and Oryx is really not there at all in team or strategy. I mean, maybe you can make some flanks and some rotations, but honestly, he's really nothing special when you think about it. And of course, we all know his gun used to be overpowered with the 1.5 scope. Oryx we're going to put in the D tier. nothing special. Pulse is really, really good in certain scenarios, and so that's why I really can't bring myself to put him anywhere above the B tier. Pulse is one of my most played operators. I love playing him when we're defending a second floor objective and there's a soft floor. I can go right under, play vertical. It's one of my favorite ways to play. However, that's really the only scenario that he's good, so he is definitely not A or S tier material, but he's definitely slightly above average. Now, Rook is one of those operators that deserves to be in the S tier. Rook is the best health support operator in the game, better than Doc without a doubt. Rook's armor that he provides is like legendary. Like it is literally like 2 lives that you have at that point when you put it on, and on top of that you get to self revive. It is just incredible. He has an MP5 and he has impact grenades. Without a doubt, we're putting Rook in S tier. Now Smoke, I probably would have put him in the A tier before he got his deployable shield taken away, but since this has happened, we're going to have to put him in the B tier. I love playing Smoke, I love his shotgun, and I used to really love having his deployable shield, being able to anchor down objective, using my smoke canisters to deny any entry from attackers. However, the whole meta's changed now. Without having this, we're going to have to put him in the B tier. Now Solus can be unstoppable when played correctly, very similar to Pulse, except honestly, could be even better. You know, it's like IQ on defense, and you guys know how much I love IQ, and she has a great gun. I love the P90. We're going to put her in the A tier. Now Tachanka. Tachanka, you guys might flame me. I'm putting him in the C tier. You guys might think this is too high. Honestly, I think I could go even higher. I could go on and on with how good Tachanka is. You know, his LMG is absolutely incredible. On top of that, he also has 20 fire canisters. Now, if you space these fire canisters out in the round, it puts on so much pressure for the attackers. It stresses them out, puts on tension, and it makes it extremely, extremely hard for the attackers to be able to push, to be able to make any moves. Tachanka, I could totally see being B tier with all of the buffs that he has had in the past with the rework. However, we're going to put him in the C tier because I know I'm going to get flamed if I did that. Thorn, I have very mixed feelings about. Like, she's alright, but honestly, like, she's nothing really all that special. Like, I don't think I've ever died to a thorn trap, like, ever. I don't think I've ever killed anyone with a thorn trap. Like, it's good to have because you hear it, and so then you know where an attacker is, but, like, besides for that, it's like, it's really not that special, and her gun's really, really good now. It has a 1.5 scope, so I do think that keeps her from being in that below average tier. So we're going to place her in the average tier alongside Tachanka and friends. Now we have Thunderbird. Thunderbird is definitely not as good as Rook. She's definitely not as good as Doc. We're going to put Thunderbird in the B tier. She has a good gun. I like it a lot. Her Kona stations are definitely really, really good. It's like an automated Doc. However, Doc's always going to be better in my eyes. Now, I do, like, I totally understand if you decide Doc is not as good as Thunderbird. I get that. Thunderbird was sort of designed to be a better version of Doc. Doc's always going to have a special place in my heart. Thunderbird, for me, belongs in B tier under Doc. Now we have Valkyrie. Valkyrie is 100% S tier. She has 3 cams that she can place anywhere on the map. They're super, super good when placed correctly. Sometimes it's impossible for the attackers to even be able to see them unless they have an operator like IQ. So she does have a counter. However, a lot of the time, people aren't using IQ or they aren't using IQ correctly. Having a Valkyrie is really, really good. She has a C4 and she has an MPX, and her secondary is a Deagle. She is S tier. Now Vigil kind of has the same exact reasoning as Oryx does. I mean, he's a really, really good roamer, and honestly, he's one of my favorite roamers, but he's just like, he brings no value to a team game. So I'm going to put Vigil right next to Oryx in the D category. Come at me all you want. I know he's a really great roamer, and he is. Maybe he'll be higher up on a roamer list if we were to do one of those in the future. However, for the point being, he's not a great team operator. We're going to place him in the D tier. Now Wamai is without a doubt the better version of Jaeger these days, which is crazy to say. He has 2 guns that are extremely, extremely viable with the MP5 and the AUG. I really like Wamai. His magnet systems are definitely better than the ADSs in today's game. I think Wamai belongs in a step above Jaeger. Now Warden, again, similar to Oryx and Vigil, doesn't really have as much of a team aspect as some of these other operators do. However, he is made to counter a lot of attackers that would be overpowered otherwise. Like, you know, a blitz or a ying, or, you know, throwing in stuns or smokes or whatever it may be. Warden is made to counter a lot of those operators, so I'm going to put Warden in the C tier. He also does have the MPX with the 1.5, and of course he has a C4, so I think C tier is definitely fair. Now thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, go ahead and press the playlist that's on screen now for Rainbow Six Siege tips and tricks, map callouts, site setups, whatever it may be to improve at Rainbow Six Siege. I probably have a video on it. I also have another tier list video for attackers, so go ahead and check that out, and I definitely plan on making more of these videos for tier lists, maybe for more specific things in the future. If you guys disagree or maybe agree with anything on my list, please leave a comment. If you guys enjoyed, please like, subscribe if you haven't already, and besides for that, I'll see you guys all in the next one. Peace.